Lamont, who diversified CT's judiciary, set to nominate more judges. Gov. Ned Lamont plans Monday to nominate William H. Bright Jr. as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court and 13 others as judges of the Superior Court, the start of the public portion of an otherwise opaque path to becoming a jurist in Connecticut. That path has not always been smooth for Lamont, his predecessors, or the men and women they have chosen. Bright, the well-regarded Chief Judge of the Intermediate Appellate Court, would make the Supreme Court the highest step in Connecticut's three-level judiciary, a demographic outlier, the only court where white men would be the majority, albeit narrowly. Connecticut's judiciary reached an unheralded milestone last spring. For the first time, more women than men wore the black robes of a Superior Court trial judge, 85 to 84, and women outnumbered men 93 to 92, when tally included the appellate and Supreme Courts. What the Governor's General Counsel, Natalie Braswell, calls a silver tsunami of retirements over Lamont's 6 years in office has given the governor the opportunity to deliver on a promise to create a judiciary that looks like Connecticut. Judges put on the bench by Lamont are more than half of the current roster of 179 active judges. According to data provided by the Judicial Department, the system has 201 authorized positions, with 22 vacancies as of January 9. By the administration's count, Lamont gave 98 of the 179 judges their jobs. They include 51 women and 47 men with diverse racial backgrounds, 63 white, 14 black, 13 Latino or Hispanic, 5 Asian, 2 multiracial, and 1 other. With the arrival of gender parity and a racial makeup that generally reflects the state's population, the definition of diversity has expanded beyond race and gender to professional backgrounds. Are there too many former prosecutors and other government attorneys on the bench? Why the dearth of legal aid lawyers and solo practitioners? Those are questions increasingly posed over the past 2 years, changing the meaning of diversity in the context of judicial nominations. When people use that word, unless they're specific, they don't always mean the same thing, said Senator Gary Winfield, D. New Haven, the co-chair of the legislature's Judiciary Committee. I think there's always going to be a concern about the issue of diversity. Since 2022, Lamont has nominated 3 people who withdrew from consideration after failing to clear the legislature's Judiciary Committee, where the private vetting of candidates goes public. One was the Supreme Court nomination in 2023 of Sandra Slack Glover, a high-ranking federal prosecutor. Winfield and Rep. Steve Stastrom D. Bridgeport, the other Judiciary co-chair, say the governor and his administration have made efforts to include them in the informal confidential vetting. Braswell said, "There are lessons learned from getting slapped by the Sandy Glover nomination. I will credit the current staff and the governor's office for being more engaged with Judiciary Committee leadership on the nomination process. I think there is a better line of communication now than maybe there was a few years ago," Stastrom said. "We're talking about things before they become a problem. And in the past, I don't think it was by intention. That didn't happen," Winfield said. Glover was unable to overcome legislative questions about her commitment to upholding Connecticut's strong reproductive rights laws and complaints that her long experience in the federal courts left her unfamiliar with the state's courts. 2 others were rejected as judges of the Superior Court. One was a state prosecutor accused of being overly harsh on defendants, including a claim that he had increased the charges against a defendant who had refused a plea deal.